Who else is reading Dune for the first time? Well, yeah, me. I actually I tried to start reading it about 6 months ago, but I found the first 50 or 60 pages kind of boring. But now that things have been like contextualized a little bit by the movie, have you shared your thoughts on the movie on stream? No, because I only watched it 2 days ago. I watched the movie with my family. I haven't seen the film yet. Isn't it any good? I actually thought the film was spectacular. I'm not going to spoil anything. I thought the film was legitimately like really, really good. I think it's going to be remembered for decades as like one of the hallmarks of not only like adaptational competence, but also like really good sci-fi world building. But we're all gonna vary in our opinions. Yeah, same director as Blade Runner 2049, a rising star. That guy. Debate Demon Mama on it. She said it's mediocre. No, 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 no. We're not debating anyone. Can I talk about it for a second? Why I liked it so much? Again, I won't spoil. None of this has anything to do with the plot elements of the story. Excuse me. Thank you. Um, I just I feel like we have so few really good examples of good sci-fi world building in movies. There's a reason why sci-fi is so common in books. It's same with fantasy, you know. In fantasy or sci-fi, you're like building a whole different world, and it's much easier to write that out than to like realize it visually. You know what I mean? Like something that you can describe in a paragraph to a book can be $100,000 of set design if done if done in the real world. You know what I mean? Like it's there's a huge gap, which is why the movie adaptations we're familiar with tend to be ones that more or less track onto uh you know the kind of stuff we see in reality. Even for fantasy stuff, usually when we see medieval settings or whatever, it's the kind of stuff where most of what you're looking at could kind of fit. Like, for example, like Lord of the Rings, right? The Lord of the Rings movies are amazing. They're amazing world building. They're phenomenal. But like most of the Lord of the Rings, the way the Lord of the Rings looks, uh, it's New Zealand, right? It's New Zealand. It's New Zealand, And not to say there aren't like amazing like the elven like cities and Mordor shit. Like there's really cool stuff. I'm not saying there's not. I'm just most of it's New Zealand. They filmed it in New Zealand. It's New Zealand. But with God. Sorry, I had 2 cups of coffee. Um but it's really, really tough to do that stuff with sci-fi, right? Usually when we see sci-fi world building, it's kind of shit, isn't it? I'm actually trying to think of movies where you have like sci-fi universes. It's usually what happens in a sci-fi universe is you either have in a movie adaptation, you either have a world that's basically like the one that we have, except like the set design is like fancy gizmo shit, or like you have environments that feel like they're basically just derivative of modern culture, but every once in a while you see a skybox that looks like it's that's really fantastically designed, Blade Runner is cyberpunk, not sci-fi. I think there's a meaningful distinction between those things. Let me give you an example, okay? Star Trek. Star Trek's great. However, like Star Trek is really clearly, at least like Star Trek, the original series is really clearly, what if we took people from the 1960s and then we put them in a spaceship? And Star Trek, The Next Generation is, what if we took people from the 1990s and we put them in a spaceship? And then Star Trek, the modern movies are like, what if we took people from today and we made an action movie where they're in a spaceship? You know what I mean, right? Like, it doesn't feel like it's a different culture. Or to put it another way, think of all the differences between modern culture and culture 400 years ago in Europe and the Americas. Like, you really think that by 2460, the people in the Federation would be like speaking our language with our expressions and our analogies, and their like interior design would be like, oh, what if it was like a little fancier? Like, you know what I mean? It feels to me like it's not world building in the way that really like strikes at the heart of the potential of the medium. But Dune, man, the Dune movie really made me fucking believe that this was a completely different culture, Everything in Dune, in the movie adaptation, felt like a textured, genuine, like it genuinely felt like a sincere depiction of some kind of future route, you know? That they still have gender and everything. Well, yeah, that's part of the point. Yeah, futures don't have to be good. I would go so far as to say that the Dune future is a little bad. I picked up on that subtext while watching it with my media analysis. Things are actually kind of bad, uh, a little bit. Um, it's so goddamn good. The thing that I really like is that they did a phenomenal job diegetically building the world that you're in, you know? All of the lore. First of all, they don't lore dump you at all in the movie. I know that the books are paced differently, but in the movie, they don't really lore dump you. The conversations that different people have all feel really like justified in universe, you know? And a lot of the world that you're in, you kind of have to pick up on like through context clues, you know? Like, hey, you know, why are these elite wait, why are they using future tech but there don't seem to be any computers? Hey, why is this massively in the future but people are using feudal terms, you know? Uh hey, what's with all the like ritual? It's yeah. But you have to like they're not going to tell you. Like you have to just watch it and kind of figure it out, you know? It's really, really cool. Yeah, they don't the exposition dump, they don't do that. At least not in a way that irritated me. I thought it was really, really, really good. And really compelling. Um and everything felt like, oh, I don't know. It was just really good. Do you think the people were just stereotypes from Greek and Middle Eastern cultures? No, not just stereotypes, I don't think. Um did they do anything with the personal shields and why they fight with swords? Well, that's how it is, right? I don't know what you mean by did they do anything. That's what it is. Oh, and by the way, I just want to say, wow, watching and then subsequently reading Dune really does make me care a lot less about 40K. Holy shit. I had no idea. I had no idea they took this much inspiration. Jesus Christ. I knew that they had taken a lot of inspiration. I didn't know they'd taken that much inspiration. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. No, I know Dune was foundation. I just didn't think it was like, oh my god, you know, there's a gigantic sprawling human empire that uses feudal control being dictated to by an emperor to control cultures that feel like socially backwards but technologically advanced. Oh, there's a general distrust of AI because of an emperor. Oh, you know, people, body horror and genetic augmentation are huge parts like Monaco. Oh, you know, there's heavy ritualization of the. Oh, people have like fucking heavy melee combat because of this tech or the other tech. Or oh, like so much of it, you know? Holy shit. It's so fucking funny. Um, yeah, I really, yeah. Can I see your paper? Don't worry, I won't copy it. Yeah. 40K basically took every single concept from other things and ramped it up to 11. That's kind of the point. Yeah, I know this comes up later in the books and hasn't been shown in the movie yet, but the way spice is used to facilitate interstellar travel also really feels kind of similar to how 40K deals with that particular subject. They use swords because it's cool. So guys, tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't Dune in a way supposed to be kind of a critique or a subversion of utopian sci-fi, which was more popular at the time? Back when Dune was written, sci-fi stuff tended to be a lot more utopian, you know, like imagine like the World's Fair or whatever, they like the future, you know, would be flying cars, whatever. But Dune is a refutation of that because the argument is that it doesn't really matter how technologically advanced you get, you know, civilizational decay, superstition, you know, bigotry, borderline feudal, yeah, environmental destruction. All these things are social problems that can't be fixed just by, and that's cool. I think that's cool. I don't know. No, I know Stir Silver. They literally say that in the movie. White Savior movie number 99999. Do you think that's the direction it's going? Again, I'm not spoiling here, but having watched the movie and not made it past the movie's position in the books, I really don't get the feeling that it's gonna just be a white savior movie. I am exceedingly confident. I don't think they would have like those story beats, and then it would be like, oh yeah, and then he saves them. That's not the feeling I'm getting. uh, no, Cypher 2023. I know, they literally say this in the movie. Why are there people in chat explaining how the shields work? They say in the movie how they work. The shields block high velocity stuff, but they need to allow slow velocity stuff to allow air molecules to travel to and from the shield. So for that reason, swords can get through because a sword stroke is slow enough that the shield won't block it. It's a way of protecting you from fast strikes and from bullets. Just use slow bullets? They do. I'm sure it'll come up too, Yellow. Watch Ben Shapiro review of Dune. He said the Harkonnens are communist. God, I can't do it. I can't do conservative media analysis today. Yes, the Harkonnens were extremely communist. The mercenary feudal band that did capitalism. No, they're just bald. Guys, they're not communists. They're just bald, okay? Can you read the text, all right? They're literally like fat cat capitalists. They're literally like, yes, I'm a baron. I want all the money. Brave Dubin, I tweeted about it. New rule in chat, okay? If you have a question about whether I've seen something on Twitter, please check to see if I've responded to it or quote tweeted it, okay? This happens pretty often. Anyway. For anybody who hasn't seen it, I would strongly recommend that you guys watch the movie because I thought it was really good and it was genuinely like I would watch it a second time, and I am not normally a person to watch a movie twice. I really, really enjoyed it. Vosh, have you seen this Vosh Twitter guy? He's pretty funny. I've heard rumors. It's on HBO Max for people who can't go to theaters. Yes, it's on HBO Max. I tried to read the first 40 pages. Maybe it'd be good to watch it first. I think that the directors did a really good job choosing how to adapt it. The book has a lot of dialogue that you could not bring into the movie. There's a lot of internal monologuing. There's a lot of long conversations one genuine critique that I would have of the movie though is holy shit. This is a general issue, but the audio balancing is really fucking bad. So much of the dialogue is spoken in whispers, and because Dune is full of highly technical and universe-specific terminology, that is not only like it's not like in sci-fi universes where the fantasy term is like the chaos crystal or whatever. Like, okay, I get those words, you know, but they're like, oh yeah, the Kishamo Wisame Dinanibida, and it's like, oh, what? So much of the dialogue is like whispered between characters who are shaking and crying and pissing and coming. So I actually had to turn subtitles on. I don't normally do that for movies. I don't like having subtitles on for movies because it usually draws my eyes down to the bottom of the screen, and it's such a beautiful movie that I don't want that. But you know what I mean, right? I legitimately just don't understand why movies don't have different audio balancing options when you're watching them that are configured. You know what I mean? Like, why is there not like a dialogue booster option? The way like movies are released to the public in CDs or through online releases, they have audio balancing that's really, really similar to how you have it in theaters. But theaters are booming at you, and you have complete surround sound, and even the quietest bits are still going to be picked up really well because you have a level of audio fidelity that is just beyond what any like person's living room would have. So I know that movies record these all on separate audio tracks. Why don't they just have like oh, this is like the home balance, and then you watch it and it just boosts audio and normalizes it? Because that would cost more money. That would legitimately cost like one tech guy pay for like 2 weeks. Like one person could do that. The balances are recorded separate, or sorry, the tracks are recorded separately. You would just have to normalize audio and bring up the low end on the. There is a different mix at home though. Yeah, but it's not different enough. Yeah, it would take so little time. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Cringe American take on subtitles. I just think that if you have subtitles on, it draws your eyes to the bottom of the screen, and it can take away from a lot of stuff, you know? You shouldn't have them on unless you need to have them on, but I did need to have them on. That's why I watch my anime with dubs. Shh. The best part of the movie by far was the battle. I don't know if I had a best part of the movie. I will say, though, that I really, really, really did like got honest to God, the movie was so pretty. I think I just liked looking at it, you know? The movie really fucking just nails that like rust bucket futurist aesthetic, you know? Where very obviously every time you take a look at the spaceships, things are unfathomably advanced. But then one of them will land and you see like rust everywhere and like dust settling as the like landing gear hits the ground and stuff like that. Really, really enjoyed that. So like reality? Well, yeah, you know. One of the reasons why people like really criticize the aesthetic of the Star Wars prequels is that the first 3 Star Wars films, so 4, 5 and 6, you know, felt kind of real, like real sets. Everything looked kind of worn in. I mean, a lot of it is like Rebel gear, and the Rebel gear was all like rusty and shit. It was deliberate and it looked good. But the prequels, like everything was so shiny and fake all the time. Like all of the yeah, it felt like a lived-in world. But in the prequels, like the background CG shit was just like shiny, like desktop wallpaper shit, you know. And all the ships were just like perfectly reflective and super shiny, and everything was shiny all the time. And honestly, even the places that looked like gritty, that's the point, for fuck's sake. No, no, no. As in, it looked bad. Like it looked fake. Not, oh, this is cleaner and that's indicative of the political situation before the fall of the Republic. It looked bad. Like it looked like a bad like art aesthetic. You know, it didn't look lived in. It looked fake. It looked like unreal. You know. Um. Yeah. It's not a matter of too much CGI. It's bad CGI. But it's true that practical effects will make things look better generally. Like that's why people liked Mad Max Fury Road so much, because Mad Max Fury Road was full of practical effects. And Dread. Oh, Dread. Oh, did Dread have a lot of that too? Dread. That movie sucks. Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road was kind of dog shit. Wait, hold on. Do we have Fury Road haters in chat? What is wrong with you guys? Holy shit. What? I saw like 4 or 5 people independently shit talking Fury Road. What are you guys doing? What is happening? I leave for like 4 days and I come back to a fucking to a fucking mosh pit. What are we? Jesus Christ. Look, watch Fury Road, watch Dread, and watch Dune. Okay? The entire story was them driving one way, then driving the other way. Yeah, furiously. It's called Fury Road. That's called truth in advertising, motherfucker. What do you want? They were angry and there was a road. What do you want? You get what you pay for. People only notice CGI when it's bad. As a VFX artist, there's a ton of CG that goes unnoticed. Yeah, it's like makeup, you know? Like a bunch of guys will look at a girl who's wearing like a bunch of natural makeup and go, "Ooh, I love the natural look, no makeup." And then they'll see somebody who's applied their makeup kind of awkwardly and they'll be like, "Ooh, I don't like that makeup." It's people when you notice the CGI, that's when people get bothered. Um, you know? When you look at something and you're like imagining its 3D model or whatever, that's when people get irritated. But I feel like yeah, I don't know. I feel like Dune did a really good job. I mean, obviously, like not everything in Dune was a fucking practical thing. These like the like Firefly helicopter things, like those were obviously not. I mean, clearly things were built in CGI, but they looked good. They looked really, really good. Um. Oh yeah, this was the This is what I was referring to. Hold on. I wish I could find a higher resolution screenshot. Chat, this isn't really spoilers at all. But this is what I mean, you know? When I know this isn't a real 100-meter tall giga structure that they built in the middle of a desert, but when I see this, like, damn, it looks good. Like, there's rust, like this, you know, like it looks like this was built like 600 years ago and it's on its last legs. But it also looks futuristic. It doesn't look like it was constructed incompetently. It looks worn in. It's just a good aesthetic. It Vosh, are you serious? You need to get your glasses checked. It looks like eye cancer. What the fuck? Okay. Find a lower res picture. Sorry, this is the worst I could get. All right, all right. Sorry, chat. We can't fix chat. I can't fix you guys. I can't fix you. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I hope you know that.